to have the bollocks.
Do you really want to go toe-to-toe with me on that?
You've completely, like, what are we doing here? Levy isn't going anywhere.
It's all down to timing, isn't it?
Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the Spurs. Well, it's the Spurs 3 tonight. It's Lubo, Johnny. They're back from the game. Stell's pulled a sickie because he wasn't particularly impressed. He wasn't having any of the happy clapping in the WhatsApp group. He's like, "Come on, we've beaten nobody. Let's see what we do against United." But the three of us wanted to get out there and have a chin wag because look, you know, the fan base has been critical in the last 5 or 6 days. Myself included, on what's been on offer. But what a way to turn it around. What a performance. What an effort. What a result. And by the way, what a goal. Potential Puskas award winner already this early in the season. Earmarks, not even earmarks, almost a mirror image to a degree of Sonny's goal. We're going to be talking about that, the team, the selection, the effort, the goals, and everything in between. I'm here, of course, with Johnny H. and with Lubo straight out of the stadium. They rushed home. To get us into
the same pants, Sean. I've still got the same pants on, mate. I haven't had a chance to change my pants. I nearly myself went. Well, when I saw Mickey run the whole length, I was going, no, he's here, yes.
Yeah. I thought you were just saying because that's your normal routine.
No.
Change my underwear. Stream.
I like to keep it fresh, but listen, Stell unfortunately couldn't be with us tonight because tonight didn't fit his narrative. If we lose to Man United, he will be back, ladies and gentlemen. We will see Stell back when we lose. Obviously, look, to all you Franker outs, the Thomas the Blank Engine, and all the other names you got to call him. Look, come on, we're not getting too far. Look, I'm going to enjoy it. Lubo and I are going to enjoy it. You know, we've suffered a lot, but we're going to go and enjoy it. Look, we're not stupid. We're not foolish. We know that come Saturday, that is going to be a completely different game. And whatever happened tonight is going to be completely forgotten. But there are many, many positives tonight. If I had to listen to the person behind me and at halftime go on about how shit Kolo Muani was, only to go into my DMs and the WhatsApp group at halftime to see Stell going on, he's shit. That's all I saw from Kolo Muani's shit. That is, in fairness to Stell, that was after he missed a sitter header and a sitter tapping. But he's dangerous.
He's not here to defend himself, but I'm sure he's watching from his bed. So if he wants to, like, we're trying to dangle the fisherman. We're trying to draw him out. We're trying to reel him in. Before I get to say hello to Lubo and we get into the discussions, guys, please do the usual stuff that you always do, right? It's very easy to keep us very happy. All you got to do is smash the like button. If you are watching this and you haven't subscribed and you want to chinwag with us in the chat, all you got to do is tap the subscribe button, give it a little rub the sub, and then it should open up immediately for you like Bonnie Blue. If it doesn't, just press the refresh button, and it certainly will the second time around. Hit the notification bell and drop a comment. This video will also be on the podcast platforms straight after the show. So if you haven't got time to watch it now and you want to watch it on the way to work tomorrow. In fact, I got a message out earlier from Phil Panini, who said, appreciate you, Sean, for putting the videos back on Spotify so I can watch it on my way to work. So if that's your thing, then make sure you get onto Spotify or Apple Pods, search for Spurs 5 and smash a follow and give us a rating. It really helps over there as well. Guys, let's get straight into it. Lubo, before I do, actually, sorry, I'm all over the place because I'm so excited about what I've just seen. How are you, Lubo? You okay, mate? Good to see you.
Yeah, that was much better than Saturday. It was as though they had come out, they'd listened to all the criticism about the negative passing that went on. No balls going, forward balls being passed through the lines, going through the middle. And they set out to put it right. And, Frank put his two fingers up to all the doubters tonight, didn't he? Pretty much.
Certainly did. As did a lot of players as well. I thought I mean, I'm going to be surprised if there's any super criticism from either of you two or from the chat about anybody. I mean, what we see, there's some holes we can pick in the finishing of a couple of opportunities and things. Yeah, look, Richarlison missed a couple of, but so did Kolo Muani. Yeah. Brennan Johnson, the red card. If you want to be hypercritical, you can. But like my overarching narrative is that it was just a fantastic performance and a super important performance, not only because of the Champions League points, not only because of the revenue, but also because of just where we were at as a fan base, where we were at as a football club, waiting for a good performance at home. Haven't really seen any this season, maybe Burnley, but this was the best by far. And everybody to a man put in a shift. And some of those names, that we've been questioning recently, Xavi Simons, we'll come to them all, but like phenomenal, could have had a hat trick of assists. Odebear, I've been winding people up in the chat. I've been calling him Heisenberg because I think he's Mr. Chemistry. I think he's his ability to connect the dots, the matchmaker that is. Destiny Doggy back to his game. We'll talk about it all. Oh,
no, it was fantastic. But you know what, Sean? There was one thing. I almost passed out in the stand. Do you know what I saw? You sit down, mate, because you might not be able to take this. I saw Brennan Johnson beat his man.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's another thing. Yeah, he took a man on.
He took his man on and he beat him. Yeah. That's what I've been asking for. Take on your man, be brave. Now, he took on his man and he got across it. So
I've got to be honest, mate. That guy Lopez, that left back Lopez, though, is
yeah.
He's not exactly
Lost Lopez. I think
Lost Lopez. Yeah, unbelievable. Guys, let's start with let's get the stats out of the way for a second, first and foremost, and then we'll just go through the individual moments. The stats, as you can see, 61% possession to 39, as you'd expect. 3.31 XG. I'll have to be updating my average XG per home game because it's sort of ruined the narrative. 0.33 against, 9 big chances. 9 big chances. 14 on target to 12. 4 saves from Vicario. We'll start with talking about him in a minute. And after that, kind of irrelevant stuff. But a quick pivot to the momentumometer to show you that to show the guys that it was basically all Tottenham bar a couple of moments in the first half. And then what was incredible, I thought, was the red card seemed like it was a catalyst. It seemed like it turned us on. It made us pause. It made us into a better version of ourselves than we were. So absolutely phenomenal. Lubo, where would you like to start, mate? Should we go through the big moments of the game, or do you want to start with the players? How do you want to do it? How do you fancy going about this?
I think I'll sort of start early on in the game. A minute or two into the game, I said to my son, if you look at the space they're giving us, there was no pressing. Chelsea was a monster press, and this was the opposite. And when the opposition give you the opportunity to play, you've got to take advantage of it. And I think it was great because that helped certain players get time on the ball and have a chance to show what they can do. A lot of good performances. For me, the most pleasing thing was Xavi Simons' performance. I felt sorry for him having to go off. He got pulled off. Would I put Polini on? I don't know. Actually, I did think we were comfortable. I didn't think we were going to lose the game or even get threatened by Copenhagen. To be honest, I just thought we were far better. And okay, he changed it with 10 men, and we actually played better with 10 men. You look at the last 35 minutes of the game with 10 men, and you thought we were the team with 11 and they were the team with 10. We were just all over them. There was movement today where there hasn't been for several weeks. Players held on to the ball, whereas they've been giving the ball away. Careless passes. The best move for me was the move where Muani shot just wide. Lovely ball from Simons to put him in. When he shot just wide a few minutes before half time. Some of the football was superb. Some of the football was great, and we played, and it'll give a lot of players confidence, which is what was needed. They the team were better. They lifted the fans as well, which was pleasing to see.
Were the fans good tonight, Lubo, Johnny? Were they on better form? What was the?
Yeah, they were. I mean, I've got to say, the Copenhagen fans were unbelievable.
Yeah, they were cheering from start to finish, weren't they?
From the start to finish. I think, look, they grew into the game. Let's be honest. It's the usual Spurs. 1-0, half-time, all moaning. I can see this one being 1-1. We should have buried our chances. Mawani shit. All right, these are the sort of half-time murmurings that you heard. We should be buried them. We should have buried them. And then, of course, the second half comes out. That beautiful. Can we talk about the trap by Kolo Mawani to kill that? I mean, absolutely like mesmerising.
Not the first time. He did something similar in the first half that went unrewarded. But his ability to bring that ball down is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
I mean, look, I think I think he's an absolute class player. He looks rusty. No two ways about it. He doesn't look the Mawani, but you can see there's flashes of it.
He's a top player. He just needs that monkey off his back, Johnny. You know, like all strikers do when they go to a new place or start a new season. Get your first goal out of the way, and then you can breathe a sigh of relief. You know.
Yeah. So when the second goal went in, it was great, and then when Johnson went off, you could hear the sighs of, "Oh no, only Spurs. This could only happen to Spurs." And then what everyone thought was going to happen didn't happen. In fact, it was the complete reverse. And as Lubo said, we just found some inner drive and went to another level. And let's be honest, you know, tonight we played a very poor Copenhagen team. You can only beat what's in front of you. And I've already heard, let's see how he gets on at Man United. It doesn't fit the narrative tonight for those who are very anti-Frank. And I understand it, and it's valid. It's valid. This is Copenhagen. And on Saturday, we are not going to be given the space. And had they watched the Chelsea game, they will press us like lunatics in the middle of the park. And it's going to be a different game. They've had the whole week off. And it's going to be different. But you can only beat what's in front of you. And we went up a level. And, it could have been anything. It was just exciting. And the fans fed off of that. And it got better and better and better, and the fans supported it. But, Sean, does it need to be 5-0 before the fans get behind him, or 4-0 and the game's done and dusted? You know, I'd like to see that, when it's 1-0 or it's...
I don't know about... Obviously, I wasn't at the stadium tonight, so I don't know. It sounded like we were singing. It sounded like there was decent atmosphere in the first half.
After the goals, yeah.
I don't want to kind of get sidetracked into a Thomas Frank debate, but like you brought it up there, and I've got to just play the devil's advocate on it, right? Because those people you're saying the anti-Frankers are going to dismiss it as a woeful performance, or sorry, a woeful opposition. Let's see what you do at Man United before we get excited. Fair point, fair question, fair discussion piece. The pro Thomas Frank people that have defended him. So I've been saying all week, I think there's so much room in the middle, right? Because I think anyone that takes a staunch opinion where he can do no wrong or he can do no right, I think that the argument has too many holes in it to make it a reasonable, logical take, right? You can sit there and critique and give credit where it's due and criticize where it's due. But for those people that are saying, when the criticisms have been there about the performances, and there's people out there that have been saying, what more can you expect with the squad that we've got? Tonight we put on a great performance, which begs the question, why haven't we been able to put on a better performance before now?
Well, you've got levels of players, and the top players turn it in, week out. And players that aren't so good turn it in, 2 weeks out of 4. That's the way it is, and we need more players that you're going to get a top performance from every single week.
But on last night's show, the argument was we can't do any better than that sort of shit than we put on against Chelsea because the players aren't good enough. I know this is Copenhagen, but if the people that are pro-Frank are saying, don't let the anti-Frankers dismiss or undermine this because you only beat what's in front of you and they're still a Champions League team, then the inverse of that argument would be, okay, I'll go with your narrative. Why can't we do that more often? Like, two things can't be true at the same time. If we're capable of doing this today, then we do have the team, we do have the players, which has been my argument. We are capable of more than we've been showing. Today we showed it. Where has that been at home? But where has that been in the Villa game? Where was that in the Bournemouth game? Where was that in the Chelsea game? Not necessarily playing with that consummate ease, because you wouldn't have had the time, the pace, the space, or anything else, to do what we do in the Premier League necessarily against, relative to the Copenhagen game. But there's more to us than what we've been seeing at home before tonight. So it begs the question to me, which is it? Like, it can't be the team terrible, but then the team are great tonight.
Can't it be both, Sean?
Not really.
Why?
Not as a logical argument. No.
Why?
The team aren't capable of doing more in the Premier League, but they are against Copenhagen.
Yeah, because basically Man United and Chelsea are light years ahead of this team and better than where we're playing at the moment. That's why.
So then the argument that you said that the anti-Frankers shouldn't be able to undermine this performance.
No, I didn't say that. No, I didn't say they shouldn't be allowed to. I never said that at all. I said they will use that and they won't come back until the game on Saturday. They will retreat, okay? Or they will turn around and say, that was a pile of shit. And they're right. It was a pile of shit. I can't rebuff that because that's...
No, but 5 minutes ago, you said to those people that are the anti-Frankers, they will say this performance means nothing because it's against Copenhagen.
Yeah.
Are you agreeing with them?
To say that, though. But they're right to say that. I'm not dismissing their right to say it, though.
They are right to say it.
Of course they are. Of course they're right to say that. They're not. It's going to have no credibility, right, until we beat a Man United or someone substantial, basically. Yeah, that won't put that to bed. Tonight wouldn't put, even if it was 7-0, that would not put that. Not a chance. Do you think
we're capable of more, and that we can put it on against Manchester United, or do you think that we are only capable of playing that way against subpar teams?
I think we're capable of doing that if someone gives us the space. Chelsea didn't give us any. Right, it was a combination of two things: Chelsea not giving us any space, and us being absolutely horrific. Right, that's the worst performance I've seen in the Spurs shirt in a long, long time. So I think it was a combination of a whole load of things. But, if we go and we play Man United on Saturday and we lose, but we play that type of football where we're trying to break the lines, we're trying to progress the ball, I'll be less pissed off than I was on Saturday with that performance, which was totally unforgivable. What are you thinking, Luke?
Yeah, I just think that we had a much better team than Copenhagen. I think we showed it. I was quite surprised at how poor they were, to be honest. I don't think anybody...
They were shocking, weren't they? They were terrible.
I don't think any of us expected...
did we make them look bad? We were on it. We were on it. Like some of the tricks, some of the movement, some of the mobility. So, I mean... Like, people are going to talk about Bentancur's, Lubo. Sorry to interrupt, just quickly. People are going to talk about Bentancur's performance tonight, and rightly so, because he was an absolute baller. People aren't going to talk about Pape Sarr, but Pape Sarr's movement off the ball was unbelievable. If you weren't paying attention to Pape Sarr because you were following the ball, you might not have seen it. But some of the work that he was doing and covering the grass is an understated performance. And I just wonder whether or not we made them look bad because we were so passionate with the way we were playing.
Well, you could see from the first minute they were giving us space. There was no intensity from them.
Yeah.
I honestly, I was quite, you normally look at it and you think to yourself, there are no easy games in the Champions League. That was, I mean, they were disgusting. They really were poor, for a Champions League team.
Their goalkeeper was unbelievably bad.
Oh,
like, when Johnson got put through, I was like, "God, there's a chance here." I was like, "Who's that coming out? What's going on there?"
Yeah, he took his goal well, didn't he?
Oh, it's a fantastic finish, lovely finish. Yeah, lovely
from the angle. I think it was a good goal. There were a lot of good performances.
Can you see anyone taking? Just ask Lubo. Can you see Man United or any team in the Premier League giving us that much room and that little press is the problem here? That's why Xavi looked like a player reborn. But when was he ever had that much space?
I think it's funny. There were a couple of challenges that Romero put in that were no nonsense, where he just cleared it, didn't he? He just hammered it again. Hammered one out of play, one against the player for a goal kick, and that was in response to that stupid goal we gave away on Saturday. And it was like he was saying to the guys, "That's how you clear a ball. That's how you clean up a situation."
Yeah.
And we look much better, so much better with him at the back. So much better.
Yeah, him a bit like what was that stat last season when the back five played together? They win like 75% of their games or something. That Ange didn't, not to make it about Ange at all, but he didn't get them together enough. Thomas Frank has had that back five for the most part, most of the games this season. The games that he hasn't,
2 or 3 games, and that's right. And you even have a situation of Vicario coming out and claiming corners tonight, which is a positive as well, because he's been for corners. He's left it to the centre backs to clear. But he took charge today, which is how he should do. It was another good game, another solid game from Big Vic. So that was good as well. Interesting to know. Do either of you know what the attendance was tonight?
No, but it looked full. It
wasn't, Johnny. The seats, in your stand, the top tier, right the way round behind the north stand, loads of empty seats.
Yeah, but the south. Look, the important thing was the south stand looked packed. Right. Yeah. What they should have done, they should have sold off those other tickets for a nominal price, not 55, 70. £80 for a game like Copenhagen. I can understand
49,565 apparently.
49, really. So with 12,000, we're pretty much 12,000 under capacity.
What's that? About 20%, give or take.
Yeah, and there lies the problem, guys. You make that 30 quid, or 25, 30 quid, that stadium's full. Families take their kids for the first time. That's what you do. And if any tickets are sold out, you give them to the community to try and encourage kids to come along and support the club. That's what you do.
I was pleased to hear you talking about that earlier this afternoon, Sean, where you said that the club missed a trick. The prices are too high.
I've always been someone that says the prices are never too high if they're sold out. Right, like it is what it is. It's demand and supply economics. It is what it is. It's a business. If they have a season ticket waiting list, and every game is sold out, and they're charging £200 a ticket, it is what it is. Like the price of getting a ticket to an England game of rugby at Twickenham.
Oh, sure.
Good luck getting that. Unless you are part of a rugby club or something. If you're paying, you're just queuing up in the line. Or a ticket to go to the opera, a ticket to go to Wimbledon, any of those. If there's enough demand, it doesn't matter what the prices are. It's elasticity of demand, right? But they screwed up if there's empty seats, and you can see this season, Doncaster there was half a stadium, Villarreal there was seats, and tonight there was a lot of seats as well, and even at Chelsea there were seats, and I can't believe that because I didn't even get my ticket didn't sell on the exchange, so even against Chelsea there were seats available. Yeah. So they have screwed up.
Brentford and Fulham haven't sold out either, and I don't think Slavia Prague will. To be honest,
can I ask you a question, guys? Did anyone notice Mohamed Kudus didn't play tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird, isn't it? The best player in our team this season wasn't there for the best performance of our season.
I'll tell you what you can see is. There's already a telepathy of class understanding between Xavi Simons and Kolo Muani. You can already see that there's some.
Don't disclude my boy Odebear, mate. Heisenberg from that, mate. He is the master of chemistry. That guy connects the dots, bro. He's a matchmaker.
Hang on. You switched French under 21s. I thought Tell was your boy.
I back both of them. No one else backed both of them. I backed both of them. Right. Maybe Matisse Tell isn't going to get the chance or the development, but Odebear's on a development plan. He is someone that is getting better and better and better.
He is improving.
Look how much abuse Kolo Muani's had Oh, all I've heard since he's signed there, fucking dead leg. We shouldn't have signed him. What a waste of time. It's going to be another Timo Werner. Like idiots, right? That's all I've heard, right? And even tonight, like I said, at half-time, Sean, all I heard was, we've signed another pile of crap.
What in the? Were you in the premium? Or were you in the south stand?
Well, I was in the premium tonight.
And so people around you were like in that area. People were going.
I was pissed off with the guy at half time. I said, "Hey, mate, I'm going to clip you, and I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I'll see you in the next few games, right? And you tell me how shit he is because you haven't got."
I can't. Look, he's
a handful.
Did he miss a couple of chances that he shouldn't have missed? 100%.
Yes.
Right? He could have had a hat trick on a different night. However, it's always difficult to get your first goal for your club. If you score as a striker, if you score on your debut for a club, then it's just like pressure off. For him, he's obviously played a few games. He's been out. He hasn't played a lot of games, but it's 3 months in, getting that monk. Same with Xavi Simons, right? But Xavi Simons could have had a hat trick of assists tonight. Odegaard was on the receiving end of a couple. Richarlison missed 2 or 3 good chances, rattled the bar twice, one from a penalty, one from a gilt edge, from a great header. A more difficult header, by the way, fair's fair, more difficult header than the one that Mawani had. Pedro Porro back on his best form. Right? When Pedro Porro's got his crossing boots on, you're going to have chances. But Kolo Mawani, for me, Johnny, I have no doubts that the guy's an absolute talent. His footwork, he's a big, lanky guy who's strong, and he's got that kind of Volta-Mane touch as well. He's got that. He can come deep, and he's got the little tricks and the flicks.
He can play off his chest. He can play off his shoulder. I've seen all the comments in the chat already. Yeah, but he was shit against Chelsea and was shit against Newcastle. Yes, because he is not match fit. He's still not match fit. He needs to rise to that, right? He's going to get better and better as time goes on. There was no one on that pitch that was any good against Chelsea. I didn't see the Newcastle game, so I couldn't say anything about it. But look, Stell is obviously devastated.
He's hiding. We weren't going to come on tonight. We weren't going to come on. We said we'll think about it after the game. We'll speak to Lubo, speak to Johnny, and then we spoke about it. And in the WhatsApp group during the game, every time Mawani messed up, Stell's in there going, "I told you, he's a waster. He's a waste man. He's terrible.
We need a striker. We need a striker. They need a striker."
Our defenders are better attackers than Mawani.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So after the game, Stell was basically saying, "Look, nothing to get." He's one of the guys that's in the let's wait and see camp, which is fine. I said this deserves a discussion. This is a great debate. Let's have it tonight. We can have it on Thursday as well, but let's have it tonight whilst it's fresh. And he was about to come on, and then suddenly he went, "Nah, sure, I'm going to bed. I've got an early day tomorrow." So let's talk a little bit about Mickey van der Ven, shall we? Who wants to go first?
He's leading goal scorer. He's scored 6 now.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. That takedown by Mawani, he just killed it in one. He killed it in one and just passed. And I got people behind me saying, he lost control. I mean, I said, mate, how do you come to football?
Oh, what's that? The Odegaard goal, you mean?
Yeah.
The Odegaard goal was special as well. I mean, that's just like the umbrella. I'm impressed. Like you're 2-0 up. I don't know what that goalkeeper was doing again. Like it was just madness because he should have just put his foot through it. But Mawani pressing hard, working hard. He's faster than he looks. He's got the Volta-Mane touch. He's good in the air. Obviously, he didn't show it tonight. I think we've got a real player there. I really do. And if we can get some momentum, I think that a fully fit Mawani that gets that first goal, I think then we've got a really good option in the 9. Odegaard's growing in confidence every game. Xavi Simons. I mean, Lubo, talk to me about... We'll come back to Mickey van der Ven. We'll save that for a bit later. Yeah. Talk to me about Xavi Simons, mate. I mean, he was furious when he got taken off, but it was the right decision, right? Or not?
Listen, we scored another 2 goals, so you've got to say it was the right decision. I was hoping he would stay on. I was looking around to see, who you would put off if he pulled anybody off. He decided to play safe, I honestly never thought, even with 10 men, that Copenhagen would cause a threat. I just didn't think they they just didn't look on it on the night. To be fair, I just thought there was a chasm in golf between the two teams. There are a few nice bits and pieces that Copenhagen did, but nothing really. You know, that I think there was one shot that went by the post that ended up with Vicario screaming at the back four because they just let the guys move up with the build up, and the guy had a free shot. Apart from that, there wasn't really that much, to be fair.
From Xavi Simons?
No. I'm just saying from Copenhagen. So I wouldn't have been surprised if Frank had kept it as it was.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, but listen, you can see the next goal unnecessarily because you've left player on when you're 2-0 up, and then if it goes tits up, if you pivot at 2-1 and you go shit, now I'll take Xavi Simons off, and then you put Polina on, and then you end up conceding it 2-2. You know what happens then, right? Like then the fans go into meltdown. Then the fans go, "What were you doing?"
But the player that had been sent off was a forward player, so it wasn't a question that you lost a midfield player or defender and you had to sacrifice a forward.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
So for me, I just thought the kid's playing really well today. Leave him on, let him express himself. He got man of the match, I think, tonight as well, which I was really pleased for him for.
Who got it?
Xavi Simons got it, and I'm really looking forward to Saturday.
Interesting.
Really looking forward to Saturday. For me, there's no reason why we can't go and win it.
Yeah, we're going to win. We're going to win. We're going to beat Man United. I think this Man United resurgence is a short-term thing.
Yeah, and then after that, we've got two, league leaders and European, Champions League holders. So it doesn't get much harder than the first two games after.
Listen, we will be expected to win that game by a certain crowd, won't we? But it's look. I just want to see progression, Lubo. If we go to PSG and Arsenal, we go to Arsenal and score a goal. That will be something. If we have a shot on target, I don't think they've had a shot on target against them since September, Sean.
Yeah, you know what? They weren't that impressive though. I looked at the highlights of the Slavia Prague game. Like they got a dodgy goal, a dodgy penalty for it's a ridiculous take for the handball that was given, and Saka put it away.
So
there was horrendous goalkeeping for the other two goals. Slavia Prague didn't put up much of a fight. But look. I mean, you come to expect it. I'm unimpressed, even though it's a 3-0 victory, just because they're so good. So yeah, look, it is what it is. I'm not letting Arsenal ruin my night. Johnny, I want to just quickly ask you this, mate. Whilst we're on the topic, you mentioned, I think someone in the chat mentioned we're undefeated in the Champions League. We currently sit 7th. We are undefeated. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's only 6 teams that are undefeated in the Champions League at the halfway stage. Manchester City, Dortmund, Spurs, Inter, Arsenal, and Bayern. Inter have yet to play, and so have Dortmund, and neither have Man City. So that might change. So of the teams that have played 4, there is only 1, 2, 3 teams that are undefeated: Bayern, Arsenal, and us.
Yeah, sure. He's never been in Europe before. He's not proved himself in Europe, and he's going to get found out. That's what I got told. Yeah,
done a good job. Done a good job so far. I mean, it's a Europa League level of competition that we're playing.
Do we think though that for the ability that the club have, that we should be higher because we should have won against Bodo?
Listen, I think away from home at Bodo. I mean, how did Bodo do tonight? They were playing against Monaco, weren't they?
They lost at home 1-0 to Monaco.
Okay,
so it wasn't a monster smash, was it?
No. By the way, City have got Dortmund tomorrow, so maybe
that's
one of those.
City seems to be playing everybody that we play.
City. Yeah. Outside, who have we got left? So we've got PSG in game week 5.
Slavia Prague at home, Dortmund at home, Frankfurt away.
Yeah, 2 crowds.
Are we a chance here for? Obviously, it's a long way to go. Like a lot of injuries, maybe some people come back, some people go, whatever. But on paper, are we a chance here, Lubo, for the top 8?
I think
too much for me.
I can't see us getting anything with PSG. I see Diaz got sent off tonight. Scored the 2 goals for Bayern Munich. Then I heard it was a horrendous scissor tackle that broke Hakimi's ankle. And
it broke his
It's
ankle.
weird. The tackle didn't look that bad. It was. I thought it looked soft. I thought it looked a little bit like not that dissimilar to in terms of severity to the Johnson tackle, but apparently the injury was horrendous. So maybe that increased the likelihood. But
That's a massive loss for them. But what was the final score?
2-1.
2-1. Yeah.
2-1. I did say I thought Bayern would win tonight. Earlier.
I went with PSG.
Yeah, but
and Harry didn't score either.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
I think Borussia Dortmund and Eintracht will both be difficult games. So if you take Dortmund, Borussia Dortmund, Eintracht Frankfurt, and PSG, we really need.
We need 3 wins out of 4 to get into the top 8. I reckon. We
need to beat Slavia Prague.
Yeah. Frankfurt and Dortmund, and we got.
Yeah.
After
Frankfurt parked the bus at Napoli earlier this afternoon. I don't know if you guys saw it. They literally just parked the bus the entire game.
But for me, I can't see us getting anything at PSG. It would be a superhuman effort and probably another worldie from Vicario for us to get anywhere close. But
let's assume 0-0 from PSG. That's fine. Then we should be able to get 3 points from Slavia Prague, right?
Sure. Beat Slavia Prague, beat Dortmund.
So then you're on 14 points.
You don't think Dortmund's a problem, Lou?
Dortmund will be a bloody hard game, but if you've got Kulu back, apart from Madison, if you've got most of your players back,
Kulu's not back by then.
And if we pick up 1 or 2 players early on in January who are not cut players.
When's Dortmund? When's Dortmund?
Dortmund is the 20th of Jan.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's the Tuesday after West Ham. It is.
Dortmund's the last game, is it?
No, Frankfurt is on Wednesday the 28th. But
of January. So wow. Okay, so last year, this is important because last year. The final round of fixtures was on the 24th, and it gave everybody, because nobody was doing any transfers of the teams because there was only, I think it was Lazio that were already, they were the only team that was guaranteed of qualifying by going into the final couple of weeks, the final couple of fixtures in the Europa League, and I think there was only Liverpool and one other team that qualified out of the Champions League. So if it's something similar this year, and the last game is on the 28th. And that final 3 days, Johnny, the channel that shall not be named, we're going to have a busy day on the 28th, 29th, 30th, and 31st of January, mate, because it's going to be chaos. All of the business. It's going to be a Mexican standoff around around Europe for transfers. But all 4 of those until the 29th of January, when everyone knows they're through or otherwise. It's going to be crazy.
Well, what you got to hope is that Frankfurt are through. And the result doesn't mean too much. It's academic, win, lose, or draw. So Spurs, if Spurs have got something to play for, if they have got a top 8 place to play for, then you hope that just maybe if Frankfurt are already there, maybe Spurs will have that edge. They'll have something more than Frankfurt to go for, and we can come away with another win like we did last March.
But don't forget, Lubo. Right, when you look at so Liverpool last season won it at a canter, and because of the way the draw worked out, instead of having an easy draw, they had the hardest draw. Right? Real Madrid scraped in. They lost to Real Madrid, wasn't it? If I remember.
Yeah.
So you have to be mindful that sometimes a team might be playing.
No, they didn't. Sorry, they lost to PSG.
Sorry, PSG. Because PSG literally scraped in. Sorry,
yeah.
PSG literally got in the last game. So
I think you need 12 points to make sure you're in the in the playoffs, and I think you needed 18, if I'm not mistaken, last year to get into the top 8. Is there any chance that if it's 18 points, if we're saying we're getting none from we're going to get none from PSG, then the most we can realistically get is 17 points if we win all 3 of the last games, which may be close enough depending on the circumstances. But you'd have to go. You'd have to beat Slavia Prague. You'd have to beat Dortmund, and then you'd have to go and beat Frankfurt last game. I
think we draw with Frankfurt, beat Slavia Prague, and Dortmund could be anything.
So then we're going to be top end of the playoff.
I think that's good enough for the way the squad and all the injuries that we've got right now. Yeah, I do.
You end up with a playoff, 2 games in the playoffs with the second game at home, which is what you want.
Dortmund aren't going to be easy, and second,
no.
We can't sign. None of the signings that we make in January are going to be in the Champions League anyway. So
I don't know. Listen, you go and get Ivan Toney.
No, I'm talking about for those last few games. You know, if we know for sure that we are going to be in the playoffs, then you go out and you get your Ivan Toney or your Lookmans or what have you. I still think by then Kolo Muani is going to be a fixture, and Richarlison would maybe need to go out on loan somewhere.
That's right. I mean, it's a good point.
He looked so angry. He looked so angry when he punched the floor when he missed that header. When he hit the bar, I think it was.
Just not.
He could have had a hat trick tonight. I think he had 3. Was it 2 or 3? He had to hit the bar twice, penalty in the header. Didn't he have another chance? Or was it 2 chances or 3 chances that Richarlison missed?
Chances. I may be wrong.
Muani definitely had 3 chances.
Yeah.
Look, listen. I saw something tonight. I hear the argument that we have to wait and see what against Manchester United. But in terms of preparation going into it, it couldn't have been better, right? Like, you didn't need Kudus. We didn't have that many options off the bench, but those that came off the bench played well. I mean, Johnson's obviously now going to be suspended. Does that suspension carry over to the Premier League like it does in the Carabao Cup? I don't think it does it?
No, it's purely. I'm not sure if it's 1 game or 3 games.
I thought it was 2 games for a red card in the Champions League.
2, maybe.
Not sure. Well, I know that all the cards get wiped or whatever it is. Mickey van der Ven didn't get booked, so he's available for PSG. That's good.
And who was the other one though? There was another one on a knife edge for missing the next game.
Yeah, I can't think. There was another one, wasn't there? Was it Udogie?
Maybe. I must tell you. What do you think of the Johnson red card?
I couldn't see from where I was, but tell me it was totally unnecessary. Brain fart. You're 2-0 up. You don't.
It wasn't aggressive. He slid. It was a wet grass. He slid. His foot's on the. Obviously his ankle is like his foot's like this, but he slides and his foot hits the floor and then bounces off the floor and it just pops up in the air and just catches him on his ankle. But it didn't look like it was aggressive. It didn't look like it wasn't going to hurt him. It wasn't fast. It wasn't like It was stupid. It was stupid in terms of like.
It was
dangerous. There was nothing to gain from doing it.
Yeah. It was unnecessary. It was unnecessary, Sean. But if you had, and I'd like to have a small bet that this referee's never played professional football, and if he had, he'd be able to differentiate between a nasty challenge and an accidental challenge that has ultimately not been too nice. For me, that was never a red.
What about VAR then?
No, VAR. It was given a yellow card in the moment, and then
these guys have got.
What I'm saying. So it was a whole room full of people with cameras.
Yeah, listen, I'm sure by the letter of the law, it was probably justifiable red. But this is like with Johnny. We were talking about this earlier, right? Sometimes you don't. Or was it? It was on last night's show. We were talking about this. Sometimes you don't need to know the XG to know that you played badly. Sometimes you don't need. Sometimes you just use your eyes and determine whether or not there was malice, whether or not it was reckless, whether or not there was an intention to hurt. And the answer to all of those things is no. And so, but if by the letter of the law his studs were up and therefore it's referable, then fair enough. But to me, I just look at it and think that's not a red card offence.
Unfortunately, it's funny actually because I was on the Spurs.
If that was a red card offence, Lubo, then Bentancur, that challenge that Bentancur put on
Yes.
Caicedo, I think it was on Saturday night.
Was it Reece James?
Oh, Reece James. Sorry, Reece James. Correct. Then that looked like he meant it. That looked like that was going to do more damage than anything.
I thought both of them were red cards. Both the Chelsea one and Bentancur's one. There should have been 2 red cards on Saturday.
I think when you go into Europe, and
Here we go. Sorry, Lubo. We got Chris the ref.
Intent irrelevant in the laws, of course, but hey.
Intent. Okay, so Chris, we don't know the laws, mate. I know you do. So if you're saying that the intent is irrelevant,
surely it's all about intent. Surely, it's not about intent. Yeah, it's like if you're in the street, you accidentally catch somebody in the face. Actually, you're running and you accidentally catch them, or you walk in and you actually hit somebody with intent. One's assault and one's an accident.
Intent is the difference between murder and accidental death, isn't it?
I'd like to know from Chris, why is it different on a football pitch? How can it be different? If someone accidentally catches someone, how can it be different? How can it be the same? How can the offence be as serious as something that has intent? To me, there's no common sense, and I think the people at the top at IFAB are an absolute fucking disgrace because they are killing the game with all these rule changes. They make me fucking sick. And these referees that come in from Europe, they love to wait. They love to wave a card. They can't wait to wave a card.
I love it when Lubo.
Why can't they feel that they're actually doing a good job without throwing their weight around? The best refs are the refs you don't notice in a game.
We're not talking about large people when he talks about throwing the weight.
No prejudice onto.
No prejudice on height and size and weight.
No, listen. I thought apart from the 2 reds that should have been given on Saturday, I thought Jared Gillett did a very good job. It was a feisty game occasionally.
I thought it was shit. That's my personal opinion.
I didn't think it was that bad.
First half he let everything go, and second half he couldn't stop throwing a bloody card. You stick to momentum. That's what I say.
Can I just say, Lubo, just super quick, Lubo. I love the way that I never know when it is that Lubo's going to pop with his anger, when a swear word or 2 or 5 in a sentence is going to come out. I never know what the topic is. It's usually about Daniel Levy, but sometimes it can be about anything. Tonight, it just happened to be about the IFA fucking B. They're ruining the game.
We have the beautiful game, and there have been laws that have been laws for 100 years, and all of a sudden, people with massive egos who have got to look like they're doing something and have got to be the big I am, come in and let's change that. Let's change. I mean, do you remember Do you remember when Andy Carroll headed the ball? Was it Andy Carroll headed the ball against Dyer, and a penalty was given? And you look at it and you just think, what the fuck are you doing to the laws? Seriously, look at trying to kill this game.
Look at Sissoko in the final. I thought. When you said IFAB, I thought it was a new political movement at first because he was so aggressive about it. But listen, look, Lubo's not wrong. We all can see that, from the fan going, it's all right for you guys at home. We're watching it at home. You jump off of your couch and then it goes VAR and you get your lines. We don't get any lines. The only lines are being done in the fucking toilet. We don't get any lines other than imaginary lines.
My kind of place. My kind of party.
Imaginary lines. We don't know. The fan, the stadium going fan is the last to know what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's where it's wrong in football. I feel like, when you see at Wimbledon, when Hawkeye comes on and the line's there and everyone goes, ooh, and you see it, I'd like to see that at stadiums. At least that's something interactive rather than this celebrate. Oh no, we can't celebrate. We got to wait, and then we got to. I mean, the only time we didn't need to worry about celebration was Mickey van der Ven's goal because he ran from his own box. And by the way, I've posted it. If you're on the Spurs 5 and you want to have another butchers, I posted it on our Spurs 5 shorts. So if you want to go and have a look at that after. But listen, I think it was great. Thomas Frank looked very happy at the end. And I think Xavi, although he was very disappointed and angry, he has to understand the situation, and hopefully he can take that anger and aggression and that form into Man United on the weekend, because he's going to have the rat. He's going to be playing against that dirty little rat, Bruno Fernandes.
To play. It's the best performance. It's the best performance from him. I'm glad if you're right, Lubo. If you're saying that you got the man of the match, I'm glad he did, because he deserves something.
To be honest.
Yeah, of course, Mickey deserves it. You can make the argument Mickey deserves it. I think you can make the argument Bentancur deserved it. I thought Bentancur was absolutely phenomenal. He didn't give the ball away, progressed the ball every time. You know, I also thought that Odebear was phenomenal, and he got a goal as well. So just do a couple of super chats, guys, and then we'll do the last sort of 8-10 minutes or whatever, and then we'll let everyone go to bed. George, Super Cup Legends, thank you so much. It says, I think the shows have been great. Well done, all of you. Thank you very much, my man. Yeah, we're moving forward, buddy. Appreciate you, George. We're back on Thursday as well. Don't forget. We're going to cook Stell. I think that's the decision. Jason Turner, 128. Big up to you, mate. Thank you very much. He says Villa finished 8th with 16 points last year. Thank you for that clarification. There you go then. So 9 points, and we might sneak in there if we can win 3. You know, give up the expect nothing from PSG, but I think we can beat those other 3 teams. I think we can beat Frank. We've done it before. Frankfurt. We've beaten Dortmund before many times. I think didn't we beat Dortmund in the year we went to the Champions League final?
We did twice, 3-0 at home and 1-0.
Yeah, so we can do it.
Remember the Tongan's goal at Wembley?
I do. Yeah, the Superman thing, wasn't it?
That was fantastic.
Can we have a little? Go on, sorry. Go on.
And Spurs OC, big up to you, my man. Nice and early for you. It's nice to catch you probably in your afternoon for once. Spurs over in Orange County. He says Lubo the legend. You're very popular.
Can we have a little
Thank you very much.
a little meme, a little section, Sean? Maybe a little section, a little jingle. Cooking with Stell. Give him a little.
It might be something like this.
Mud, mud, mud for you. You're always in the mud. You didn't think it could be true, and now you're in the mud.
Oh dear, a footballing special.
Yeah.
Very apparent, very, very, very apt. Listen, we love Stell, man. We're only jesting ish.
Of course. No, it's all good. It's all banter. But he ran away from this one because he was going harsh on the team tonight. He was saying the team are bang average, the player Moani's bang average. It's a weird one, you know. But listen, agendas are going to agenda. For me, like I say, I think there's plenty of space in the middle. Let's talk a little bit about what this means going into United. Is there anybody in the team tonight that you think deserves to keep their place? It's early on the Man United conversation. Obviously, we'll have it in more detail on Thursday. But just in your first impressions, is there anyone in the team that played tonight that played well enough that they should keep their place that you would otherwise think they wouldn't have naturally for the Saturday game?
Wilson.
You got to say Odebear.
Yeah.
Wilson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Xavi
will do for sure.
Yeah, Xavi, I think Thomas Frank can keep his job for the weekend. That'll be another one.
Fair.
Paolini will come in for Sarr. Moani starts, and Kudus will come in hopefully for Johnson.
Do you know what people said tonight as I was going out? Better not see that bloody double pivot with Paolini and Bentancur.
You see, I don't like that at all. Listen, he's a good player, Bentancur.
Superb tonight, Alou.
Yeah. But you know what? For a Premier League game at home where you need players putting balls through the middle and carrying the ball, his style is not right for Spurs. He's great away from home, and he fits Bentancur, and because you can see from the results and the way he plays next to Paolini and the way they keep it closed in front of the back four has obviously worked. We got 13 points out of 15 away. But at home, it doesn't work, and we need people to move the ball quicker, to carry the ball quicker.
So is there an argument then to keep it Pape Sarr and... I thought it worked. I thought that double pivot worked really well tonight. It is a bit, again, it's a one-game sample size against a really poor team. So I
Correct.
don't know.
Yeah.
I think Palhinha obviously is a top draw player.
Question, but we do know one thing: Man United are going to be playing three at the back. We know exactly how he's going to play.
Yeah.
So there will be no surprises, and so therefore we know they're going to come at us. So we have to set up as a team to negate that, but still give us creativity. I think Kolo Muani gives us so much more danger up front than having a Richarlison or what have you. And I think a mobile Kolo Muani with a Kudus on that flank and Xavi Simons tucked in behind them.
And
Odegaard on the left-hand side, to me, smacks of something that's...
You know what I like, though, about tonight, right, Johnny? I hear you, but I think we would... I'm not sure where I was talking about this earlier, whether it was on my show or whether it was on a WhatsApp group or what, but I remember someone sort of putting the idea in my mind, Kudus not being there tonight, it might end up making the game like the fact that when Kudus is there, we rely on him. We always look for him. We always give it to him because we don't have too many other options. And then he's double marked out of the game. You know, we didn't miss him tonight. Again, don't know don't know what we don't know, whether it was just because it was against a poor Copenhagen. But Udogie and Odegaard down the left work really well. They work really, really well. And without Kudus, we were forced to try different things and we were a bit more mobile. And I think that sometimes having that easy option to go to because he's the best that you have can make you a little bit lazy in your creativity in other departments. So I'm not saying it, I'm not landing on this argument, I'm just sort of speculating whether or not, is there any chance that, his absence actually forced us to be a better version of ourselves?
Yes, quite possibly. But you need him back. You need him back in, like you need Palhinha back in on Saturday. Let's not kid ourselves. United are going to be a much stiffer task than Copenhagen.
Yeah, 100%. And they've had a whole week.
We've
marked their card though. We beat them 4 times last season.
That was last season. That's gone. That's finished.
Yeah, that's history.
That's right. It doesn't mean anything today.
Say that to Chelsea. We never beat Chelsea because we never beat Chelsea. Why don't we turn this United sort of this hang up that they have against us into a hoodoo?
Well, listen, let's hope they do. I think that the plus from tonight is that Kudus comes back in. He's got Muani to aim for. He's got Xavi Simons now, who's playing with more confidence that he can link up with, and it's completely different. Instead of looking at Richarlison in the middle, he looks up to put a ball in. There's no way that, for me, there's no way that Richarlison's going to get apart from Burnley and a ball that was smashed at him by Kudus at Brighton. Richarlison, unfortunately, has gone downhill, and I would have Scarlett in front of Richarlison now as the first striker coming on as a sub.
Yeah, should we give some a bit of credit to Dane Scarlett? Has Dane Scarlett ever put in a bad shift in a Tottenham first team shirt?
Well, 4 minutes, 2 minutes. I mean, I could actually run around for 2 minutes.
But do you know what, Johnny?
I'm not being facetious. I genuinely think that Dane Scarlett, yes, he's failed at every loan deal, but when he's played in a Tottenham first team shirt, he's never let himself down, ever, in my opinion.
The other thing also is, he made a contribution tonight after coming on. When he came on at Ipswich last year, he put the flick on for Kulu that ended up in the back of Ipswich's net. So, the last 2 occasions he's been on, he's crazy.
You would start it. So if Kolo wasn't there, you'd start Dane Scarlett, ahead of everybody. If Kolo wasn't there.
If Kolo wasn't there, if he called, yes, definitely, I would do.
What's happened, like Tell, if he's not playing against Chelsea and he's not playing in the Champions League and he's not going to be playing in the Europa League, the Carabao Cup, what is his future?
Yeah, it's bleak, isn't it?
It is. It doesn't look good.
No.
Yeah.
Does he go?
I think Thomas Frank Thomas Frank's played him, given him enough opportunities, and he hasn't really shown that he's ready or there. You know,
I'm not sure how it works. I'm not sure how it works with the European squads. But someone said to me the other day, why on earth did he put Ben Davies in front of Stell for the European squad? That was
backup because he didn't know when the others were going to come back from centre back.
Yeah, we didn't have any defensive. Yeah. We had to have Juna Byfield.
And he was right. He was right at the end of the day. Byfield's broken his arm.
Yeah.
He's broken his arm.
Yeah, he's broken his arm.
Broke his arm.
How did that happen?
In training.
Yeah,
he landed on it, jumped and landed on it or something.
I don't know. Probably Cuti Romero. And
take your arm and playing football.
He had to pull out the World Cup squad for England, the under-17 squad.
Yeah.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah. And also, when you think of Takai, don't know what's happening with that. Don't know what's happening with Dragusin at the moment. Slowly. They're all on the grass, and that's why they can't play football.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I don't know how I feel. It's a really interesting one. Would you play Dane Scarlett? Would you bring off Kola if you're subbing Kola Moani? Would you bring on Dane Scarlett ahead of Richarlison or Tell? Well, I think if you did that, I think Richarlison would throw the mother of all tantrums.
Well, I think he'd just leave. But the point is that if he actually believes Thomas Frank that he deserves it and he's good enough, he'll play him. No question. What's the point of being in the squad if he's not?
Yeah, he won a penalty tonight. He wanted a penalty as well. He wanted it, didn't he? Oh yeah, can you shed some light? You said this to me backstage. We'll round off in a couple of seconds. In fact, let me just press pause quickly. Cat Funt, Toby Juan Kenobi, big up to you, my man. Big up, lads. Scarlett should have taken the penalty. Great. This is it. This is the question I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Did the fans boo?
Yes.
They booed
massively before he even took it, which it was counterproductive. You could see his face. He was all stressed out, Richarlison. And like you could hear everyone shout, he's going to miss it, he's going to miss it, he's going to miss it. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. There must have been 50 people shouting it, and self-fulfilling prophecy.
So you were on the halfway line. Lubo, you're close. You're the other side, but you're closest to the goal where the penalty was taken.
Yes.
Right?
Halfway line. Yeah.
So you could hear boos around the stadium.
When he went to take the penalty, there were boos. Then Porro took the ball and the boo stopped. And then because I thought Porro was going to take it.
Yeah, so did I. Then he gave it to Richarlison.
He gave it back to Richie, and there weren't any boos.
No, the boos got louder, Lubo.
Booed. They booed Richarlison for taking the penalty instead of who? Dane Scarlett.
Yeah.
It went quiet before he took it. They weren't booing as he took the penalty.
No,
That's
took
weird, though. Why are you booing about that?
When he gave the ball to Richarlison, they booed.
That's weird.
And then they said they're singing Dane Scarlett's name after he missed it.
That's
really?
Right. He's one of our own.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, though. What's more the more likely better outcome is the player who hasn't scored, who is going to play more minutes than Dane Scarlett, getting a cheeky pen to lift his confidence, right?
That's
the better, the lesser of all evils there is to let the guy who's going to play more minutes than the other one take the penalty because a goal for a striker is all that matters.
What did they do? What did they do? They took the ball away from Brennan Johnson when he won a penalty to give it to Matthias Tell so he could score a goal and feel good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Was that Bournemouth? Was that Bournemouth?
Can't remember, but that's what they did.
Southampton. It was Southampton, wasn't it?
Southampton?
That was our only away win out the last 3 months.
Only home win. Massive win. That's what happened. So, but for the whole fan base on South Stand to start booing Richarlison for having the ball.
That's wildly weird. I don't get that at all. What's the motivation to boo him?
I don't know. I don't understand.
You're talking about like thousands of, not like pockets, but audible boos.
I could hear it from where we were. and so could Lubo.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't get that. I don't get that at all.
Yeah.
That's a strange one. I don't know what's the benefit of booing there. That's a.
Well, there's no benefit. He missed. Then they started.
Maybe he wouldn't have done it. People cheered him.
Well, that's what I'm saying, or sung his name. Yeah. And so they wonder why he went down the tunnel, which he didn't go down the tunnel. He went and gave his shirt to a kid, took his shirt off, gave it to a kid, signed some autographs, then went down the tunnel. Would you stayed for being abused? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but then you're making the same like did he applaud the?
He didn't run down the tunnel. Do you know what I mean?
I guess though, but it's the same sort of thing because of that Mickey van der Ven and Jed Spence moment was caught on camera. It blew up into a big thing, and then, but like other people stand and applauded the clap. That the other players apart from the doggy stood and applauded the fans on Saturday night. If Richarlison doesn't stand and applaud the fans tonight, even if he walks down the tunnel, stops, signs a shirt and signs a few autographs, the fact that he's seen walking down the tunnel and not appreciating the rest of the fans, that can also be spun into something that it doesn't need to be.
What it was, Sean, was that Michael Bridge put a video out, the Sky sports correspondent,
of Richarlison walking away.
No, of the team walking around the pitch after the match, applauding the fans without Richarlison.
And did Michael Bridge say, "Where's Richarlison"?
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
They didn't really walk round the pitch. That's another thing. They didn't really walk round the pitch. They were in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah.
They were in the middle of the pitch and they walked about 15 yards into the middle where they sang Mickey van der Ven. They all clapped a bit and then they walked off.
I was gone. I had to get back for the show.
Get back for the show.
I couldn't hang around and clap them off.
Yeah, well, I'm a proper fan, Lubo. Okay. Business. I'm in the clapping business.
Prawn sandwich, man. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm on the ground and I'm up in the air. Yeah, anywhere I can go. That's me.
Yeah. Listen, guys, it's just gone midnight, so I'm sure it's a good time to round off. Want to say a massive thank you to everyone that's hung around. There's been 500 people here, surprisingly high numbers given it's lastminute.com. But really appreciate everybody coming. Yeah. Lubo, great to see you. Johnny, great to see you, boys. Great effort to get back to the game.
Guys, and also, guys, come on. I looked again today, right? Hundreds of you watch the show, thousands actually, because people watch it at different times, and you never hit the subscribe button. It's very easy. Subscribe doesn't mean cost you money. It just means follow. YouTube need to change the name, right? So just hit it, help us the channel grow so we can bring you more content. As you notice, we started with 5, then we were 4, then we were 3. By Thursday, there should be me, Sean. Sean and Lubo, or Sean and me. I don't know. It would be 2, and then who knows?
By Christmas time, it's just me.
By next Monday, it could be Sean presenting his show. The Spurs won. Who knows? No. We'll be back. We'll be back.
Yeah, great to see you all. Bye. Yeah, Lubo and Johnny, mate. Fair play to you guys for getting home as quick as you did. Good effort from you. Good effort from the fans in the chat. And good effort from Tottenham. And what a goal. Puskas Award nominee for sure. And look, we're back, boys and girls. We're back. But we'll be back to on this channel. We'll be back on Thursday, which is technically tomorrow now, given the time. But we will see you around the houses tomorrow as well. So like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on,
Spurs.
Frank in. Or Frank
Absolutely.
out.